may be in trouble. Oh, there they are. Glasses.
You done?
Oh. I didn't notice that. And we're good.
I just got to say a little bit.
All right, I'd like to call the City Council caucus meeting to order. We have 3 public hearings. If the clerk would read those first.
Public hearing number 1, regarding an ordinance amending the code of the City of Schenectady relative to the installation of water meters. Number 2, regarding an ordinance amending the code of the City of Schenectady regarding having municipal golf course rates and fees set by resolution. Number 3, regarding an ordinance amending the code of the City of Schenectady regarding prohibiting the sale of single cigarettes.
All right, then we go into final consideration, item number 1.
Item number 1, under final consideration, an ordinance deleting obsolete boards and commissions.
And we've discussed this several times, and I just want to reiterate, this involves the boards for DARE, Environmental Conservation, the Police Objective Review Committee, Tuesday in the Park, the Colonial Festival, and the Central Park Stage Committee. So without objection on consent, item number 2.
Item number 2, under original consideration, a resolution adopting a negative declaration pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act.
This was also discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 3.
Item number 3, an ordinance authorizing the city to issue 2014 bond anticipation notes and bonds.
This was discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 4.
Item number 4, an ordinance approving the continuation of current bond anticipation notes for an additional year and the issuance of certain bonds and bands.
Also discussed Finance Committee without objection on consent. Item number 5.
Item number 5, a resolution authorizing an amendment to an application to the Environmental Restoration Program pursuant to the Clean Water, Clean Air Bond Act of 1996 relative to a parcel of property on Van Geisling Avenue.
Also discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 6.
Item number 6, a resolution authorizing the City of Schenectady to execute a contract between the City of Schenectady and Open Stage Media.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 7.
Item number 7, a resolution recognizing the Ancient Order of Hibernians.
This will be taken out of order. Mr. Kosher will present that. Number 8.
Item number 8, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with AECom USA for design service relative to the Oak Street Bridge.
Also discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 9.
Item number 9, a resolution to award a contract for outfitting police vehicles to La Rosa's Automotive, Inc.
Also discussed in public safety without objection on consent. Item number 10.
Item number 10, a resolution to award a contract for furnishing and installing a side-load drop frame refuse packer body to CEJJ, Inc.
Again discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 11.
Item number 11, a resolution to authorize the sale of 3 properties.
And you will be getting a copy of that very shortly. That was just discussed in Claims Committee tonight without objection on consent. And then we have 1 item for unanimous consent.
Item number 10A, a resolution proclaiming March 22nd, 2014 as Phagwa Holy Hindu Spring Festival Day in the City of Schenectady.
I'll entertain a motion to put that on the agenda. Ms. Perazzo, seconded by Mr. Mudavaran. All in favor? Aye. And then to add it to the consent agenda, Ms. Perazzo, Mr. Mudavaran, all in favor? Aye. Or excuse me, not a consent agenda. This is out of order. That's right. I'm sorry. Mr. Mudavaran will present this one. All right. If there's nothing else to come before the City Council caucus, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, Mr. Riggi, seconded by Mr. Mudavaran. All in favor? Aye. All right, I'm going to call the City Council meeting to order for Monday, March 10th. If you would please stand for the invocation by Reverend Felicia Collins.
If we could please bow our heads. Dear kind and loving Father, from whom our blessings are from, Lord, we ask that you bless this city called Schenectady. We ask that you bless its elected officials. We also ask a special blessing on the citizens of Schenectady. May their voices be heard. Lord, may they be able to work together for the good of the city, that we will be the great city that we know we could be. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I'm going to ask Ed Perkins to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
May we all say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Tonight is a special meeting because we will have the swearing in of Mr. Kosher. So I'll invite County Legislator Gary Hughes to come inside the rail and Ed's family to join him.
Well, this is a great opportunity and a pleasure to swear Ed in as a member of the City Council. I wanted to say just a couple of things. To his council colleagues, you will never serve with a more diligent, hardworking, collegial, talk to everybody, work things out councilman than you will with Ed Kosher. To the people of the city of Schenectady, you will never have a more effective advocate on the council than you have in Ed Kosher. And I can say those two things, having served with Ed for 4 years on the county legislature, and clearly in my mind, one of the best colleagues and one of the best legislators that we've had. You look around the city of Schenectady and you see the improvements to recreation facilities and the mention, well, the county paid part of that. That was Ed's program. Ed brought that into being in the city and was a tireless advocate for baseball fields and parks and you name it. And secondly, Ed was the first chair of the Committee on Intergovernmental Cooperation. Our chair at the time, Susan Savage, was here, and Susan had the wisdom to appoint Ed to that post. And it's because of that work that you have the shared municipal agreement with the city regarding the maintenance of city vehicles by the county and all of the interlocking agreements that exist between the city and the county for snow plowing and other various public works. So he will do a fabulous job, and I've talked long enough. So do we proceed here?
Yes.
Repeat after me. I, Edward J. Kosher,
I, Edward J. Kosher,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States,
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of New York,
the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities That's all right.
discharge to the best of my abilities
the duties and responsibilities of the office of City Councilman for the City of Schenectady.
the duties and responsibilities of the office of City Councilman for the City of Schenectady.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and if I may, just a couple of words. I can't give up this position here. First of all, thank you to my wonderful family, my beautiful wife Barbara of 28 years, and my children who have just left me here, but that's okay. You guys can sneak out. They're going to get the rest of the goodies. My oldest daughter Elizabeth, who is going to be married in just a few weeks down in Virginia Beach to a wonderful young man from Nyack, New York, and hopefully we'll get him involved in the homes program up here and purchase a home. My other daughter, Heather, recently married to a young man, Jethro Brewer, and proud to say that they are residents here in the Stockade area, right across the street from Ms. Johnson and Peggy King, so they have stayed here in the city of Schenectady. And my youngest daughter, Carrie, well, that's Carrie. She's my junior at the high school, wonderful young lady, and we know she'll do very well as the rest of them have done. So you guys are heading out, go get the coffee and stuff, thank you, and we're very blessed, a wonderful family. Just a few thank yous, if I may. Thank you to our wonderful Congressman Paul Tonko. I'm sure you're going to say a few words, but I'll hold the mic just if I can. But how about a nice, wonderful thank you to a good friend of ours in the city of Schenectady, Mr. Edward Perkins. There's nobody who can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance than Mr. Perkins. Good friend of ours. We have breakfast every Tuesday morning. If anybody wants breakfast Tuesday mornings at the Point Cafe, Mr. Perkins, we're always there. Again, to all my colleagues politically, again, my good friend and now Judge Mark Blanchfield, who of course was with me my first time I sat on the City Council, Judge Matt Sapnowski. Again, I introduced Congressman Paul Tonko, Mayor McCarthy, Peggy King, President of the Council, and of course my colleagues here on the Council itself. City Clerk Chuck Thorne, John Polster, my good friend Bob Hoffman, I know is in the audience, Richard Naylor, the City of Schenectady Democratic Committee Chair, appreciate that. And again, to all my friends and family, again to Susan Savage, God bless you too. You've taken me many places where I've never been, and we've done some good things together. And the mission is not over. This is really where I belong. I'm rolling up my sleeves again. I really love working for the people, for the citizens of Schenectady, but most importantly for everybody here in the county, because we are one family, and I will certainly make sure that we continue the fine work that the mayor and his council has already moved on, and will continue to move in the right direction. And again, I thank you very, very much for your support. And of course, my good colleague, Gary Hughes, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Gary was my first gentleman that I ever ran with for elected office, and that is why I had Gary swear me in today. Plans are ready for January. I'm not pushing too far ahead, but when we win in November, we're going to have my colleague Philip Fields swear me in January. He was our first ever minority county legislator in the history of Schenectady County, and we had the privilege of appointing Philip to that spot. So we're thinking ahead. So thank you very much. God bless everybody, and we're going to work hard for the city of Schenectady. Thank you.
Let me take this moment to congratulate Ed Kosher. I wish you well on the City Council, and you bring talent, you bring experience and expertise and passion to the job, which I think are important ingredients that will offer quality representation. I met Ed and Barb Kosher a long time ago in the infancy of my assembly tenure, representing the county of Schenectady. And way back in the 80s, I met this wonderful couple who believed in Schenectady, who believed so much in nurturing our children and families, working through Page School, making a difference, making certain that, the family values that we all embrace, that the conditions we want to see that are there for a vibrant investment in Schenectady and Schenectady County and moving forward with a progressive order of politics are all that Ed had always honored and worked to make certain that they affected us in very sound ways. So I feel very comfortable about the work that he's done. I feel very comfortable about the position he's assuming, and I know that he will give it his best shot and continue with the progress that has been made here. To the City Council members, I wish you the best of luck. To all involved, to the Mayor, it's an honor to work with you, to represent you in Washington, and let's continue that partnership that is very spirited, that is bipartisan in nature, that will allow us to go forward in public-private partnerships, working with academia to make a difference and to really spell soundness for the next generations to come. And I know your heart is there with those next generations. You have shown it with your wonderful family and with many others who have benefited from your passion to make a difference. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And just one more person I failed to recognize, and a former colleague of mine, School Board President Kathy Lewis, thank you for attending as well. And we know we have a lot of work ahead of us here with the Board of Education and the capital projects and the budget. So again, thank you for your support in the past as well, and again, thank you for coming. Madam President, I'll turn this back over to you.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, if the clerk would call the roll.
Ms. Perazzo? Ms. Porterfield? Mr. Erickson? Mr. Mudavaran? Mr. Riggi? And Mr. Kosher? Ms. King?
Present. Okay. We're going to begin the official part of the meeting with a presentation by Jennifer Lawrence of Youth Build, talking about the weatherization program. So, Jennifer, you want to come on inside the rail?
Thank you, Mayor, Council President, Council members. I'm very excited to be here tonight to talk about a service. So everyone knows Northeast, a lot of people know Youth Build Schenectady. What I don't think people know, what I want to talk about tonight, is the fact that we are an independent contractor to NYSERDA, and we have services that we can offer city residents and county residents for low cost or no cost. And so I'm very excited about it. So far, we've weatherized over 90 homes in the city of Schenectady. We are looking forward to sharing this information with you and being able to help increase energy efficiency in your home as well. With me today is Simone Sammons, and Simone is our community outreach educator for energy efficiency. Simone has all the details of this great program, so I'm going to turn the mic over to her, and I'll wrap up with some facts. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Simone. Okay, so the program that we have is called Empower New York. It is aimed at the low-income community of Schenectady. The first part of the program is what we do is electrical reduction audits. So what we do is we do energy efficient upgrades such as lighting upgrades, we insulate hot water tanks, we insulate piping, and since the HEAT program has, their funding has finished up for replacing broken or inefficient appliances such as furnaces and boilers, we've actually taken that up. So we can come into people's homes and we can check out your boiler and your furnace, see if it's broken or inefficient. Same thing with refrigerators because those run 24/7. So we can check those and see if it's 10 years plus or if it's inefficient, it's not working well. We can replace that for absolutely free. Our program is for renters, homeowners. If you live in a mobile home, it doesn't matter as long as you fit within HEAP's income guidelines. We also have another program which is assisted home performance with Energy Star, and that's for a higher income bracket. We can pay for 50% of the work, and then the other half is either out of pocket or you can attach small payments onto your national grid bill each month in order to pay that off. On the weatherization portion of it all, we can do up to $8,000 worth of work for absolutely free, which could include, insulating walls, insulating your attic, air sealing. They do a blower door test. So we will take a step back and look at your home as a whole, and we'll see, what we can do to make it work better. All on the good sake of energy efficiency. I think that's about it. Yeah.
So, a few things. Yep. A few things to let you know. This is, how can it be free? We all pay into this. There's a systems benefit charge on our on our national grid bill every month, and that is what feeds this. So it's accessible to everyone. There are a range of income guidelines, and there's a lot of ways to finance people, but most of it is free. We want to help reduce those energy bills. I also wanted to say a special thank you to Councilmember Marion Porterfield, who's really championed this effort and made sure that we were able to get here tonight. We've been in the community talking about this for a while, and Marion's been helping us spearhead this, so thank you very much.
Thank you. And if you would stay up here, I want to invite Chad Putman and Congressman Tonko to come up, and they have a presentation to make to you.
Come on over. Do you want to hold this with Jennifer? Sure. Come on over. Hello, everyone. My name is Chad Putman. I'm the Deputy City Clerk, and I've also been involved with the American Made movie event that you've probably heard about, that the city and partners hosted at Proctor's GE Theater back on January 21st. And that event had a number of sponsors and stakeholders, as well as panelists that participated in the event, including Congressman Paul Tonko was on the panel with us for that event. And we were able, through all the sponsors and supporters, able to cover all of our expenses, and all the proceeds we were able to raise go to a one-time scholarship for a Youth Build participant pursuing a manufacturing technology degree at Schenectady County Community College. So tonight we are delighted to present the American Made Movie Committee presents the Youth Build Schenectady Group with a check for $1,097.50 for one of their students. So we're very excited about that and appreciate all the support. Just a couple other quick updates related to the American Made Movie Committee. We're very excited. Congressman Tonker, I'm not sure if you want to talk a little bit about yourself, but we'll be... You want to talk about it?
Well, yeah, the movie was so impacting and details some of the fixing that we need out there to grow the economy and grow jobs. And it was so impacting that we've asked that it be shown in Washington. And so hopefully there'll be a great audience, and knowing that it emanated from Schenectady and the good work by the assistant clerk, we thank you all for offering the inspiration so that real solutions can provide a sustainable outcome that really has us on the uprise, so that we can grow those jobs that are substantial for communities. So a powerful movie, really well done, and congratulations to Youth Build for the scholarship award. Congratulations, everyone.
One second. Just a couple more things here. The Washington, D.C. Viewing of the American Made movie will actually take place on April 3rd down in D.C., and some of the folks involved in the screening up here in Schenectady will be traveling down to be part of that viewing in D.C., and I've also heard that the filmmakers involved in the documentary will be on hand for that as well, so that's exciting. The only other update I have is the American Made Committee has continued to follow through following the movie event, and we had a meeting last month, and we'll be having a follow-up meeting on March 21st, and that meeting is going to be facilitated by the Center for Economic Growth, who's going to help the American Made Committee get concrete with regards to our mission and objectives as we move forward. So that's pretty exciting. So that's all the updates I have. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. All right, we have two out-of-order resolutions. The first is the Irish American recognition for the Ancient Order of Hibernians. So, Mr. Kosher, if you would take the floor.
Yes. All the folks come forward, ladies and gentlemen. Whoops.
Mr. Ned, everybody, all our members of the Ancient Order of Hibernians, come on forward. We have a little feedback here, I think. No, come inside. We don't bite. We don't bite. Come on. Come on, come on. You guys know me better.
And right after this, we'll have the Irish dancers.
Come, please. Come on forward. Thank you. Madam President, if I may offer this resolution? Thank you. We have a ceremonial resolution here recognizing the Ancient Order of Hibernians, whereas the city of Schenectady is rightly proud of its many Irish residents and residents of Irish descent, as well as their many and varied contributions to the well-being of Schenectady. And whereas the Irish are just one of many immigrant people to have come to these shores seeking refuge from the yoke of oppression. And whereas the JFK Division I Ancient Order of Hibernians, together with the JFK Division I Ladies Order of Hibernians, has contributed to the city of Schenectady for over 133 years by making donations and performing the good works for worthy causes and deserving organizations. Now therefore be resolved, the City of Schenectady Council declares that on Monday, March 17th, 2014, St. Patrick's Day shall be celebrated throughout the City of Schenectady in recognition of the many contributions and the good works of the Irish American people everywhere. Madam?
Okay, you move the resolution? Then
Yes,
is there
ma'am.
a second? Okay, Mr. Erickson, all in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You just say a few words. Are you the spokesperson?
Thank you very much. I'd like to invite the city council and anybody at large in the community that would like to join us at the Ancient Order of Hibernians on Saturday and Sunday. We will be providing food, beverages. Oh, Sunday and Monday, excuse me. Food, beverages, and entertainment. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Don't leave, I have one more piece here. And just one more special presentation, if you may, President King, I did ask for permission. Back in December, the Ladies Ancient Order of Hibernians did a wonderful event for us with the Toys for Tots and the SCORE Summer Camp. They did a breakfast with Santa Claus. Santa Claus made a special appearance that Sunday, and we had that's the night of the storm, where we had almost 2 feet of snow. The Hibernian parking lot was plowed out. We had church vans pulling in with kids. We served over 200 children that morning with Toys for Tots and Breakfast with Santa with the Ancient Order of Hibernians, the ladies group. So on behalf of Santa Claus and the SCORE Summer Camp and Toys for Tots, we'd like to present you with this plaque. And thank you very, very much for all you folks do.
Say a few words?
I accept this honor for my sisters, Lady Hibernian sisters, and it was a real treat to perform this service to the community. We had as much fun as I think the children did. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you. And I believe we have some Irish dancers coming in.
Yes, but there's more, as we always say. Wait, there's more.
I don't.
Space here? Okay. What's that?
Always a nice tradition. All right, we have a second out of order resolution to celebrate Pagua, the Spring Festival, and I'll ask Mr. Mudavaran to take the stand. Come on over and move closer to John.
Madam President.
Okay, you have the floor.
I'm honored tonight to present this proclamation. And it goes, a resolution proclaiming March 22nd, 2014 as Pagwa Holy Hindu Spring Festival in the city of Schenectady. Whereas Pagwa or Holi, the festival of color, remains a popular Hindu spring festival during which everyone splashes color water or powder all over each other's face and clothing, reflecting nature's bringing forth gorgeous color through the blossoming of flowers, thereby creating a feeling of oneness with nature. And whereas with all its funds, Holi, like other festival, has its own spiritual word because it built love in God and it detached the person from material enjoyment to encourage spiritual development, forgiving the hate of others and start the new years with love. And whereas it was a festival that commemorates saying farewell to winter, celebrating the coming of spring, good harvests, and fertile land, all true towards each other in celebrating the coming of New Year's. And whereas Pagwa Holi tells us that we must always keep God's spiritual lights in our heart, and according to the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord manifests in the spring season with a holy festival representing the Lord's soul. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council hereby join with Gary R. McCarthy, Mayor of the City of Schenectady, in proclaiming March 22nd, 2014 as Pagwa Holy Day in the City of Schenectady. Madam President, may I move this?
Okay, is there a second? Okay, Ms. Perazzo, all in favor? Aye. Yes, congratulations.
Thank you, John. Madam Chair, the City Council members, my name is Vishnu Prasad, and I have here with me other members of the Hindu organization. And today we bring to you happy holy greetings from the Hindu community. On behalf of the Schenectady Hindu Society and the Hindu community, we thank the Honorable Mayor, the Mayor's office, the City Council members, and the City of Schenectady in presenting to us this proclamation in recognition of the Festival of Holi. Please permit me to explain briefly about what the Schenectady Hindu Society, Holi and Pagwa is about. First of all, the Schenectady Hindu Society is a federation of Hindu organizations in Schenectady. It was registered in November 2013 and formed primarily to promote Hindu awareness by planning and executing Hindu festivals and events. Second, this colorful festival is known by two names. One is called Holi and the other is called Pagwa. Holi is spelled with H-O-L-I and not with H-O-L-Y. And this is a shortened for Holika, a woman's name. As the legend goes, she represented the evil, and her young nephew, Prahalad, represented the good. Prahalad's father wanted to kill Prahalad because of a disagreement on the concept of who God is. After many failed attempts, he solicited the help of his sister Holi, who had a special gift that fire could not harm or kill her. So she took her nephew into the blazing fire. She was consumed, and the lad was saved. For this reason, throughout the Hindu world, good over evil is celebrated. And thirdly, Pagwa comes from the word Pagun, which is a month in the Hindu calendar that marks the beginning of spring, which incidentally coincide with the legend of the burning of Holika. At this time, plants and trees with a variety of flowers start to bloom, hence the festival is colorful. It is celebrated with colored powder, colored water, and the singing of Hindu folk songs. It is the world's largest colored festival. Tonight, it is an honor and a privilege for me to receive this proclamation on behalf of the Schenectady Hindu Society and the Hindu community at large. We again thank everyone that is responsible for making this event possible. But before I close, we would like to extend an invitation to the entire City Council and the Mayor also, and the general public to grace this event starting at 1 p.m. on the 22nd of March at Grout Park on Hamburg Street. There's a parade that leaves the Dollar General store on State Street and proceeding to the park at noon. Please remember that vegetarian meals are served freely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have 3 public hearings tonight. If the clerk would read the first one.
Public hearing number 1 regarding an ordinance amending the code of the City of Schenectady relative to the installation of water meters.
I have no one signed up for this public hearing, so I'm going to declare that one closed. We'll go on to number 2.
Public hearing number 2 regarding an ordinance amending the code of the City of Schenectady regarding having municipal golf course rates and fees set by resolution.
I have one person signed up, Jason Plank.
Madam President, City Council, Mayor McCarthy. Every year we come back, we've asked to have persons with disabilities added as a benefit. The City Council has said yes, but it just hasn't translated back into actual piece. One of the things that we had worked out was that the individual, when they go and get their park and recreation ID card, that's when the verification occurs. And one of the verifications we're asking for is that they would have a Medicare card. That means that they're totally and permanently disabled. The second piece is that we tie it to the HUD poverty guidelines, which is about $12,000 for income. Now, I know some of the City Council said that may want to double that or go 150% higher than that, but at least that is a fee, that is a set goal. The whole idea, when you're giving the discounts, you don't want to give discounts to somebody who's making $60,000 a year. You want to give discounts to people that actually need it and that actually would benefit of outdoor recreation. So that's one of the reasons why I was suggesting that type of rate. We've also had the City Council approve to move the Parks and Rec ID card from the Parks and Rec building to the city clerk, and that has not taken place. And we've had that approved back in 2009, and it still has not been moved. That was a reasonable accommodation because to put a ramp at that building would be over $12,000. And both Carolyn and then Eileen and Chuck all said it would not overburden them to have the ID card sitting up in the second floor of the clerk's office, and that's where they would go and get it. So we definitely need to get the ID card moved out of that building because it's totally inaccessible for a person with disabilities. So hopefully we can be able to take a look at this and be able to add person with disabilities to this.
Thank you. I have no one else signed up, so I'm going to declare public hearing number 2 closed. Public hearing number 3.
Hearing number 3 regarding an ordinance amending the code of the City of Schenectady regarding prohibiting the sale of single cigarettes.
I have 4 people signed up. The first is Joyce Wachala.
Hello, my name is Joyce Wachala, and I'm a taxpayer in the City of Schenectady. I'd like to first ask the question here, who on the City Council or even in the city has even called the Schenectady Public Health Department to report that a business is illegally selling tobacco products to minors? And I can give you the answer because I spoke to a representative at the Schenectady Public Health Department today. Their answer is there has been virtually no complaints coming from the city. My point here is that the city hasn't even gone through the proper channels to correct this problem. Our first plan of attack should be to alert the city residents to let them know that they are able to make a complaint. The phone number for the Schenectady Public Health is 386-2818. We need to make them aware of the problem so that they can come in and investigate, and then they can either close these businesses or take away their license, take away their lottery license as well. They have the authority to do that, and they're good at it. The statistics for teenage smoking in New York State has decreased by half in the past decade. And also to place an undue burden upon the Schenectady Police Force, in my opinion, is a waste of time and not in the best interest of public safety. To have an officer have to go and visit a store and issue a violation is just simply foolhardy. We need to allow the Schenectady Public Health Department to do their job first before we ask our police department to do it as well. A duplication of effort is just going to waste taxpayer money. But I do believe that there is a very big benefit in consolidation of services, and I believe where we should start is by looking at our downtown. We have a $13 million center city and other buildings down there that are wholly tax exempt from the Schenectady tax base. We have to get those off of the pilot programs, put them back onto the tax rolls. That's where we should be consolidating. That's where we will get our money. And this would be in the best interest of every struggling taxpayer in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Judy Rittmeyer.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Judy Reitmeyer, and I am the director of the Capital District Tobacco-Free Coalition. We are a New York State Department of Health funded grant that covers Albany, Schenectady, and Rensselaer counties. And I am coming today to speak about the smoking in the city. The smoking rate, as many of you know, is 37% in the city of Schenectady. I'm also a member of the Schenectady County Coalition for Healthy Communities. And as a member of that committee, we are working to try to bring that tobacco use rate down. We know that the way to bring tobacco use rate down is to prevent our young people from smoking, so prevent them from starting, and to help smokers quit. We know that 90% of people that smoke started smoking before they were 18 years old. So if we can get our kids to be 18 years old and not smoke, we have 9 out of 10 chance of them never smoking. If we get them to be 26 and not smoking, they will not smoke. So our job is to make that tobacco product less attractive to young people. So one of the ways we do that is by keeping the price high for a pack of cigarettes. And New York State knew that, and that's why they raised their tax on a pack of cigarettes to $4.35. And when they did that, they saw the youth smoking rate drop down. When we sell individual cigarettes, it's very affordable for young people. So we know that we want to decrease that occurrence. We do not want to have our kids being able to give $1 and get a cigarette. It's against the law, it's against federal and state law, and we want to do everything we can to prevent that. We also know we need to decrease the number of places where cigarettes are sold, because the more places there are, the more dense the number of locations are, the more likely that youth will smoke. And just to give you some point of reference, in Schenectady County, there's 186 places to buy cigarettes. 155 of those are in the city of Schenectady. So one of the things the city could do is make a license and make the people in the city be required to buy a license to sell tobacco, and then decrease the number of licenses that you choose to give out. You can also choose to not allow tobacco to be sold in pharmacies or stores that contain a pharmacy. The other thing we have to do is help people that are smokers to quit. And one of the things we can do for that is to make our environment tobacco-free. So we can make the city, any property the city owns, to be a smoke-free property, and now it allows smoking on it. The city has already done a wonderful job in making their parks 100% tobacco-free, and that is huge, because it changes that social norm around tobacco. And I've got 5 seconds, and I guess the last thing I want to say is they could also ban the use of coupons or buy one, get one free, so that it, again, keeps the price high, and so kids would not be able to have tobacco. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Aaron Buckenmeyer.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak tonight. My name is Erin Buckenmeyer. I'm here representing the Schenectady Coalition for a Healthy Community. And this coalition last February started the You Matter Schenectady survey. We surveyed over 2,000 residents of the city of Schenectady in a 3-month period of time. And some of the results of the survey, what we found is that 37% of those people that we spoke with are smokers. Just to give you a little bit of perspective, a little bit of reference on that, if we look county-wide, Schenectady County, the smoking rate's close to 18%. Even at 18%, Schenectady County has a higher rate of smoking than does Albany County and Rensselaer County. So we definitely have a problem with smoking here, especially in the city. And another thing to mention quickly, of that 37% that said that they were current smokers on our survey, 50% of them said that they tried to quit in the past year. So we have a real opportunity here to work with these people to help them to quit. And one of the ways that we do that is to change our environments and make that an easier decision and make it easier on people to follow through and to be able to quit. So I would ask that one of the ways we can start to change our environments would be to ban the sale of loosies. Thank you.
Thank you. And Frank Wicki.
Frank Wicks, W-I-C-K-S.
Wicks, sorry.
And I agree with the first speaker here, and I agree with the next two. One apparently is against it, and the other two are, probably supported. I'm against it. I wrote a letter to the Times-Union, the Gazette that's in Friday's paper. I'll give a copy of that to the council people and the mayor, but I guess the reason I'm against it is I think it's a pretty feeble way to, there's supposed to be another crime fighting, advertise a crime fighting tool. It seems like a pretty feeble crime fighting tool. I see the people this is aimed at is, if it's children, I'm totally, I very much think, I very much applaud what's been done to get the smoking rate down. I'm 75 years old right now, never been sick a day in my life. I don't smoke, and I'd probably be dead if I did. So young people it doesn't hurt, but old people it does. But my concern is I think the police department, the attorneys, the county attorney, the judges are good on the big issues, but I think where they get in trouble is when they basically on the small things, where you're basically small things in the fact where you have here. I've seen the police do good things here, but I've also, in my 52 years here, seen quite a bit of harassing of poor people by police, and I see this as another possibility for doing it, and so I guess on balance, all things considered, I'm against this. I also point out that it's covered on the county level, it's covered on the state level, and if you start off with entrapment, then you get the police, the attorney's office, the judge involved, and you basically, you actually, in my view, you kind of degrade the entire justice system in pushing anything as feeble as this. So those are my comments.
Thank you very much. I have no one else signed up, so I'm going to declare that public hearing closed. We'll move to the approval of the minutes from February 24th, 2014. Mr. Riggi, seconded by Ms. Porterfield. All in favor? Aye. Communications and petitions.
Communications presented to the City Council for Monday, March 10th, 2014. Under the category of official, from the mayor, a list of appointments dated March 10th, 2014. A letter from Commissioner Olson recommending the award of purchase to furnishing and installing side-load drop frame refuse packer body for CEJJ Inc. of Schodack Landing, New York, in the amount of $164,000. Under general, there are none. Under petitions, there are none.
Committee reports. Do we have any committee reports? Going once, going twice? Okay. Then we'll move on to privilege of the floor related to the legislative agenda. I have two people signed up. The first is Jason Plank.
Madam President, City Council, Mayor McCarthy. Last week, Marion Porterfield, I want to thank her, Councilwoman, for standing up for the rights of persons with disabilities last week. When Mayor Kajewski tried to make a recommendation to remove persons with disabilities as a representative body on the Affirmative Action Board. Also, too, is that I also disagree with that. You need to have qualified people on that board because she can't even, because she would have to train them. Well, she's not even qualified in the first place. And she was hired by the county in July the 14th, 2008 for the current position. I foiled it in 2009. Here's her job application from the from the county, and here's her resume. And not one bit of it, she would have never qualified if the county did not did the paperwork. They bypassed it. She was totally unqualified for the position, and she still is. Now, the other thing is that also in February of 2010, I also found out that they tried to make her position exempt, and the current personnel person testified that she was not even the one that did the job description. It was done within the county manager's office. So they purposely did the job description for her and did it for that. Now, the next thing also too is on the, she also recommended that the executive director for the Human Rights Commission be put on the board as one of her recommendations. The executive, that would be a conflict of interest, and also her voting record on human rights in this county is also abysmal and failure. She allowed the county to do weighted voting instead of redistricting, which has not been done in the county since 1965. She allowed the PLA agreement for the county attorney to commit legal malfeasance and to fraudulently misappropriate federal funds by building the Glendale nursing home with the PLA agreement, which denied jobs to persons with disabilities and denied jobs to minorities. And there are other aspects within that piece. So the whole idea of Mayor Kajewski into the point, and this city council even rebuked at her to the point to where she was cutting and pasting her community development block grants. This council stopped from actually saying that she falsified those documents, but she did. But they asked the county, the city, to make sure that she did not move forward on that issue. So I'm just, when we're cautiousing, I'm hoping that we can move forward on this in a good, positive direction. Also, in the final remarks, DOL just issued out the new 503 regulations, which is hiring persons with disabilities. They go into effect March the 15th. And I want to hand this both to Councilman Wrigley and Marion Porterfield. They said they would get you copies of this if you needed them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary McLean.
Good evening. My name is Mary McLean. I live in the city. Item number 2 and item number 4. May I suggest that when information is released for agenda items, that the material be legible. I was not able to read the paper that contains the numbers for the bond anticipation notes and bonds. This is the copy I received. This is what I had to do to read it. I had to blow it up myself. That shouldn't be necessary. It should be in the packet so that it is readable. With regard to the open stage media, right now the programming is flawed. There is no sound for Angelo Santa Barbara's program or Jim Tedesco's program. Some people have told me they stopped watching council meetings because they could not get the sound. There is an audio problem with city council and committee meeting programs before the city executes a contract with Open Stage Media. The problem needs to be corrected. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I have no one else signed up, so we'll declare that portion of the meeting closed, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the legislative agenda. Okay, Mr. Kosher, seconded by Ms. Perazzo. All in favor? Aye. All right. And we'll move to privilege of the floor regarding city business. I have 6 people signed up to speak. The first is Joe Rodriguez.
Good evening. Again, I know you know why I'm here. I tried to give you a call. I called you and left you a message. I did speak to another council member concerning that we're apparently going to get some snow on Wednesday. How much, we don't know. But there's a big crater which has a big cone in the middle of our street. My concern is I know the city's suffering with a lot of holes, and I can understand that. My concern is this is like a parking space that you get by to get to the end of my house. The crater is so big that you can see inside. But anyway, my concern is if you had an emergency, for instance, like the emergency we had on Christmas Eve, you ain't gonna get no emergency vehicles through there. I can see if you patch it up temporarily, but it's not patched up. It's about a good 4 feet. If you get some person that's not sane or intoxicated, they're definitely gonna go in there. My concern, again, is the safety to get an emergency vehicle to our side of the street. I asked in the last meeting, when is the last time, besides the members that I know that have been on that street, that you come on our street and just look. Just please look. That's all I say. I mean, this gentleman here is a taxpayer on that street too, and he has concerns. I mean, he's on the same street as I am. He has concerns. Our concerns are starting to grow. I mean, other people are gonna start coming up and start spreading their concern. It's not so much we understand that the city doesn't have the funds on it, it's the concern of the safety of the people. I think we should take notice that if you just take some time, maybe while you're driving up State Street and take a turn on Moisture Street, just get an idea. Just get an idea. That's why I ask. You have anything?
Yes, I've been living in Schenectady for the past 11 years, and I bought a property in Moiston Street in 2006, and since 2003 I came in Schenectady, and I've been investing in Schenectady, and I never see anybody from the city did any work on Moiston Street. It is getting worse daily, and nobody cares, and we are paying taxes there, and such as Cutler Street. I've been living there for 10 years, and no improvement on Moiston Street and Cutler Street. And I recently moved out from Cutler Street, and I bought a next place in Santa Fe and Tenite. And I have a corner lot there, and this next, it's 1575. It's the next property there. And it was there for, I would say, 4 years. One family converting into 2 family, and it's very bad there. There's no siding, it's falling down. I complained to the city maybe 5 times. There are so many animals, rodents, snakes coming through my yard with all those stuff that building, and nobody cares nothing about it. I complained, they say they're gonna do it, and nobody comes and say anything about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Joy Hall.
I'm Joy Hall of Schenectady, and talking about safety, you got so many potholes on a lot of streets. Millard Street is very bad, and other end of Crane Street is bad where the bridge is, and some streets off of Eastern Avenue are bad too. And it's got to be, something's better be done. I've seen some very big holes everywhere. And we got to do something about putting more walk lights up for the seniors. And I've seen a lot of handicapped trying to cross the street and get through, and can't get through at all. And it's very hard for them. And you got to do something pretty quick. And we got to do something about these people that stop for the light to make a left-hand turn, and you get somebody else that come on your wrong side and make a left-hand turn when the arrow's not on. Something's got to be done about that. This has got to stop before somebody gets killed. We don't need that to happen. So we better get at it and do something quick and stop these speeders from speeding from one end of the street to the other end of the street. I say, this is all uncalled for. It's got to stop now.
Thank you. Jason Plank.
Madam President, City Council, Mayor. 2 weeks ago when I had said people need to be able to start grieving within the four major neighborhoods. That would be the Woodlawn would be one area. The Central State Street, Vale, Hamilton Hill would be the other. Downtown and Stockade, and then the other one would be the North Hill area. A lot of these developers and contractors we've seen over the last 2 years have received major reductions in their assessment between 25 to 50%, with one developer 2 weeks ago received over 70%, nearly $1 million reduction in their assessment. I had asked that if each of 100 homeowners in each one of those got together and then hired an attorney to grieve, which is the first part of May, this would force the city to do a city assessment. The city says it doesn't have money, but it has money to do everything else. It has money to give to general contractors and everything else, big, huge tax breaks. It has money to give pay raises. It has money for everything else except for giving property tax relief. And this is one way that the city taxpayers can be able to force the city to do what it's supposed to do. A lot of people blame the Mastroni for the erroneous high tax assessments. The problem is he did it right at this time when the housing market and the housing supreme across the country collapsed. So at this point in time, those figures are really high, and yes, they are, and that everybody should deserve a tax break. What a lot of people don't realize is that 30% of the property taxes within the city is non-exempt or has pilots attached to it. And also, too, is you're wondering that the school district, the city of Schenectady has got a $10 million hole. Well, this is one of the reasons. Just 2 weeks ago, when you did that one developer for $1 million, that's $1 million worth of assessment that the school district has now got that has been overpaid, and the city's got, and the school district has had to pay that back. And that went all the way back to 2008, and that was nearly almost another, probably about, don't remember the figures, but about another $2 million worth of assessment. So, you know, that's a lot of money that the school district is going to have to pay back. And this affects everybody. It affects also the county. The county represents about 15% of your tax bill, the city about 35%, and the school district 50%. So we need to be able to get this back under control, and I'm hoping that the taxpayers will gather together and be able to go for it. Because if 400 homes file a grievance, yeah, it may take you 2 years, but it'll force the city that they will have to do it. And an equalization rate of 123%, what the state was saying, that's too much. Thank you.
Thank you. Harry Brand.
Harry Brand, resident Schenectady. I certainly would like to have our city council work together. You have 7 people on the city council now. There should be no need for a private meeting to decide how to vote. Work together. Vote with your hearts and your conscience, and vote for the citizens of this city. We heard an oath tonight by Mr. Kozar's, his oath for being sworn in. We've got 7 people on the city council, we've got a mayor. And you people need to represent the citizens and this city. And forget everybody else. Whether it's a party, whether it's a county, you're in the city, and you're in the office of the city, and only in the city here, that you should be providing the best for everybody here. You need to work together. Work things out. Talk things out. If the mayor has too much power, it's your privilege to talk him down. Bring up the questions. These high salaries. The taxpayers cannot afford the way this city is run now. Mr. Riggi shouldn't be left out of the meetings. Shouldn't be rubber stamped out of voting. We're all here for one purpose, for this city to do better, and I've never seen it look worse than it does now. From our streets to the houses, you have what, 850 homes either boarded up, burned out, or you received them back on fault of paying their mortgage. Plus how many for sale? 400, 500, 800? What are you doing? You're running the people out of the city. You sold low-income housing, 100 or more. Isn't that wonderful? What happens if you raise taxes? We cannot afford these high-paced increases, 20,000, 10,000 gifts and that. It's time to get down to business and run this city the way it should be and work together. You're all good people. You all have a good mind. But why aren't you here for our city and our citizens? I've never seen this city look so bad from one end to the other. Our streets, you can't drive them. It's a shame. The construction jobs, Lower State Street, like the lady said here, Millard Street, Broadway, the bridge out. Nothing's getting accomplished because you aren't working together. You're not voting for the citizens and the people. This has got to stop. Otherwise, we don't need you. We can go down without you. Don't help it. It's a shame. So my sincere thought is get this city going the way it should be. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary McLean.
I am going to respond to the original resolution that City Council passed at the committee meeting for the Hibernians. I think there's something in there that's very disturbing. I was astounded by the wording of the resolution for the St. Patty's Day celebration. It read in part, resolved further that the City of Schenectady Council declares that on Monday, March 17th, 2014, St. Patty's Day shall be celebrated throughout the city of Schenectady in the furtherance of fair and reasonable immigration reform that includes a path to citizenship for undocumented residents. Need I remind Council that members took an oath of office to uphold the law and that undocumented people are here illegally? Who is giving safe harbor to undocumented residents in Schenectady? My father came to this country via Ellis Island. He often talked about two lines. One line was for those who were fit and were able to continue on their destination, and the other line was for those who were ill and were returned to their homeland. But in all circumstances, they all waited their turn in order to come to the United States. The modern immigrant thinks all he needs to do is run across a bridge in Texas, climb a wall in Arizona, or ferry himself over the Gulf of Mexico, and once on dry land, entitled to stay here. Wrong. They need to do what the others did, wait their turn. But this council wanted to give citizenship to undocumented residents. Who are they? Council, you crossed the line on this one. You have a lot of explaining to do to the Immigration Department. Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon Lynn Schmidt.
Mayor McCarthy, President King, City Council members. I am Sharon Lynn Schmidt, the President of the Mount Pleasant Neighborhood Association. I am here to announce that we will have Larry Spring, Superintendent of City Schools, speak at our meeting at 7 p.m. this coming Thursday, March 13th. And we do hope that Mother Nature will be kind and be done with her fury by then. This topic for Larry King will be Phase 1, the $70 million capital project, and he states with zero or minimal cost to homeowners and the K through 5 and middle 6 through 8 configurations. We will look forward to his talk and his presentation. As a result of our Mount Pleasant's first community workshop, we are having an all-sports information and sign-up day, Saturday, March 22nd, 10 to 4, and the little timer here is not working, so I want to make sure nobody thinks I'm getting any kind of special treatment. That will be held at the Bridge Church from 10 to 4 at 735 Crane Street, the old Marcella Appliance Building. Participants will include the Schenectady Little League, the Merged League, the basketball, Schenectady Basketball Club. We are going to have Jim's Gym. He has a boxing ring in the back of the church. He'll be doing demonstrations. We have spoken with some people about some tennis. Boys and Girls Club has yet to give us their firm commitment. We may even have some golf represented. SCORE will be represented. Ed Kozier was kind enough to give a commitment on that for summer camp. Possibly rowing crew. Possibly the Schoharie Environmental Summer Program, and they pick the kids up at a like a price chopper, and they bus them to Schoharie and let the city kids get out into that good old country air and river water and so forth. We're also asking for anyone who's interested in participating in this to let either myself know or Reverend Bookout at the Bridge Church. And we would like to see football, we'd like to see soccer, we'd like to see cricket represented, and girls softball. And then finally, on Good Friday, the Bridge Church and the Mount Pleasant Neighborhood Association are partnering together to have a crosswalk at 10 a.m., and we're going to be putting together a route to provide to the police to cross us on intersections, hopefully. It will all be done on a sidewalk. We're going to go from church to church, and each church will do a little sermon, as they've done like in Scotia and other places. And we have about 5 churches now, so we're looking for more churches to join us. And I just want to say that the Mount Pleasant Middle School Cabin Fever Community Day was a huge success. We did a lot of networking. We got a lot of sports representatives to talk with us about this sign-up day for sports. It's an educational day. We'd like all the kids who have been asking me if they could please have a basketball team in Mount Pleasant. This is your time to come out. We're going to get more advertising out there. But this is in response to the kids themselves wanting some activities. So thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, I have no one else signed up, so I'm going to declare this portion of the meeting closed, and we'll move to miscellaneous business of the council. Ms. Perazzo.
Thank you. I guess I want to start with the fact that it's vital to us that people come down and use privilege of the floor to give us information, to raise questions, to challenge us. But I think personal attacks, as what was made on Ms. Cajusti, which is somewhat in spots unfounded, is borderline slanderous. I encourage people to step up and ask questions. Again, ask us to find out answers for them. But personal attacks of that nature, spoken as fact, but yet not supported, I think is really unfair. So I just will ask that people think about, when they come to the rail, of presenting it in a way, in a more fact-finding way than personal attacks. I also want to make some great announcements. Number one, good news that our neighborhoods. The HUD loan went through, so we will be demolishing some blighted property. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor. I think it's a wonderful thing for all of us. I also, more good news as a result of that HUD loan is that the Community Loan Fund will be opening a satellite office at 920 Albany Street, and that's the Schenectady County Business Center. They're having a grand opening on March 20th at 3:30 p.m. And if you're not familiar with the Community Loan Fund, they give low-cost, flexible loans to community development organizations, small businesses, micro-enterprises, low and moderate income borrowers, and more. And they also provide training and technical assistance to local businesses and nonprofits. So if you want to learn more about the Community Loan Fund, March 20th at 3:30. Also, as I'll probably be mentioning this every 2 weeks, we're ramping up for Give Graffiti the Brush again, which is our graffiti removal program. The city will be identifying properties for our program that uses youth on probation to come and cover it at no cost to the home and business owners. So people in the communities, my contact information is on the website. If you want to call me and kind of target some properties, give me addresses, I'm happy to add them to the list so that they can get cleaned up once spring starts. Thanks.
Great. Thank you. Ms. Porterfield.
Thank you. I have a couple of announcements. I first want to, I want to thank Northeast Parent and Child for being here today and to give the information regarding the weatherization program. The young lady who did the presentation, Simone Salmons, neglected to give her contact information. So if anyone heard the information and feels that it applies to them or interested in hearing more about it, she can be reached at 372-4100, extension 3521. Or email homeenergy@neparentchild.org. And again, her name is Simone Salmons. And also the application information is out in the hallway if there's anyone here tonight that wants to take one with them. And some more exciting news about things that homeowners can take advantage of. St. Madeleine Sophie Church is partnering with the group Mission Trips and Guilderland Central High School District to bring a work camp trip to Guilderland. Well, you can live within 30 minutes, I believe it is, of Guilderland. So they're looking for residents who need basic home repairs, which include interior and exterior painting, deck and wheelchair ramp repair and construction, weatherization, and trailer skirting. So if anyone needs free repairs made to their home or knows someone who could benefit, they can contact Talia Hadley and her at St. Madeleine Sophie Church, and that number is 355-3115. Or her email is smsgnomes@nicap.rr.com. So these are, this will actually be happening in July, starting on July 1st. And the deadline to sign up is April 1st, I do believe it. Yes, April 1st. So the actual program will be in July, but the deadline to submit an application is April 1st. So if people are interested, they really should get their applications in quickly. I also just wanted to comment on what Mr. Rodriguez had to say about Moisture Street. I have visited the street several times, and there are some serious concerns there that we really do need to take a look at. You know, there was the fire there, and as a result of that, there's some houses that are now down, which thankfully, but the condition of the street is, you know, it is of concern. So if we could just really take a look at that and you know, try to get something done. He's come numerous times. I've heard from him personally. He's called me. So I'm just hoping that we can take a look at that, get that filled, especially with the weather being what it is. It's, you know, it snows, it's not snowing, but that is a street, and I know there are many, but there is a huge hole in that street that we hopefully can take a look at quickly. And thank you for coming down, and hopefully we can do something. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Madam President. You know, one of our regulars, Joy Hall, comes down every other week here at the council meetings. She talks about something important, safety. And I give her a lot of credit for coming up and reminding us. You know, some of the things that, you know, she talks about are traffic and speeding and people crossing the roads. And, you know, I see a lot of folks driving fast, too fast for the city. And, you know, I think with springtime coming, more people getting out, walking around. The traffic division and the police department, maybe we can focus more on just keeping an eye out for speeders. I don't always see too many people pulled over with speeding. I know, at different times in my life, when you're younger and driving faster, I usually, see more people out. And you always have to watch yourself, but I think people are sometimes driving a little careless these days and just going as fast as they could get away with going, and maybe feeling that, well, they're not going to get caught because no one is out there watching. And so maybe we could address a little bit of those concerns and just kind of remind our patrols to get out there and keep an eye on kind of dangerous behavior. Along with that, we talk about potholes, sinkholes, and things like that, and every year that's the topic, right? I mean, this is the Northeast, and every winter you're freezing and thawing, and so it's not new. It's going to happen next year too, I predict it. We will have potholes. But it seems every year we get to our paving program very late in the season, and so I'd like to see if maybe this year we can address the paving plan and the paving strategy in the city earlier, and maybe get some of the roads paved in maybe June or early summer time frame, and that way we wouldn't be rushing sometimes at the end of the season where temperatures aren't so conducive to putting the asphalt down, and we might be able to get better quality surfaces if we do it earlier in the season. Lastly, I want to congratulate Mr. Kosher. Welcome to the council. I know you'll come every week with passion and energy, and you'll do the right thing. So again, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Kosher.
Thank you, and again, I appreciate the support from the community, from the council, from the mayor's office on the appointment, and I've been very excited. In my first week, as usual, on the job, received several phone calls this week from residents that know me in a different light now, and just took care of one this morning, which I just want to talk about very quickly, about the senior enhanced star exemption. I went downstairs with one of our neighbors who is 95 years old in our community and is bedridden and didn't have the proper identification to get the enhanced star. His driver's license had expired, and so on and so forth. Within 30 minutes of time this morning, working with downstairs the assessor's office, the folks down there are tremendous. We went down to the Board of Elections and got a validated Board of Elections ID. Within 30 minutes, I was able to get to work by 9 o'clock, and we had the situation resolved. But the point is, they have a stack of well over about 150, 200 folks, seniors, who still are missing that income statement, that valid driver's license, that photo ID, in order for them to qualify for this enhanced star. And I urge folks who are watching tonight to not to hesitate to give Nick Barber a call in the assessor's office, to call the mayor, of course, to call any of our council folks. We'd be glad to help you through and walk you through the process, because it's very, very important. And God forbid when they get that tax bill next year and they don't have that enhanced star that they're used to. I just really want to work for them. If we may, I just want to keep in our thoughts and prayers the parishioners of St. Anthony's Church. The parishioners and community, it was a very unfortunate event that happened, and we want to thank the Schenectady firefighters for what they did to save the parish and the building. If you can just keep that community in your thoughts and prayers, I'm sure they would appreciate it. Also, just real quick with the school district. As you know, we have the capital project referendum going to be voting on Tuesday, March 25th. That's coming up in just a few weeks. And that's a bond that is going to have over $70 million in renovations for Schenectady City school buildings. They have a couple more informationals, as we just noted with the Mount Pleasant Neighbor Association this Thursday at 7 p.m. Next Tuesday, the 18th, they're doing another one at Central Park Middle School on Elm Street. So we encourage folks, if you're interested, to please get out there and just take a look at what these projects will entail. Again, the majority of the work is with Mount Pleasant Middle School, Central Park Middle School, and of course the Oneida renovation as well. And finally, the budget workshops. Sitting on the Board of Education, there's going to be some very difficult decisions that the Board of Education has to make in the next upcoming weeks. And the last budget workshop is coming up on Thursday, March 20th at 6 p.m. at ML King School. And I really urge folks who are watching here or who really have children in the school district to attend that meeting. It's an actual interactive workshop. You will actually be given a booklet by the superintendent, and you'll be making budget decisions, budget cuts that will impact our children and our community. And it's a working session, which, believe it or not, starts at 6. You'll be there till about 8:30 at night going through this whole program. So I really would like to see folks get involved. We have some great turnouts at some of our schools, but this will be the last one before it gets brought to the board for the final decisions. Again, that's Thursday, March 20th at King School. And last, Broadway, 797 Broadway was unveiled over the weekend. Those folks who always complain about when you drive by and you see our scaffolding up there at our DSS building, it was unveiled over the weekend. Some of the scaffolding has finally come down. It's a beautiful silver gray building now with the 797, and they've done a tremendous job on the building. Parking is still an issue over there because we still have the renovation going on for the Y building. But again, some great progress in the city of Schenectady, and we look forward to its completion. So thank you, Madam President.
Anyone else? Okay, Mr. Riggi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was asked to make an announcement for Bellevue Preservation. Their last meeting was canceled because of snow. I hope that this Thursday we won't have the same thing. Maybe it's the Bellevue Preservation that's causing these problems. I don't know with the snow, so hopefully not. But anyhow, their monthly meeting will be Thursday, March 13th, 7 p.m. at St. Paul's Episcopal Church, Parish Hall, 1911 Fairview Ave. Guest speakers will be John Watrous talking about recycling and Laura Brown to talk about Ruth's Place, the new thrift shop on Broadway. Preparations are being made once again to sponsor Bellevue Farmers Market this season. The public is invited. So hopefully the weather will kind of pass off to the south and they'll be able to have their meeting as usual. Mayor and Corporation Council, there's been an ongoing problem with county waste, especially in the Bellevue neighborhood. One street in particular, they pick up for Fulton School. They've been habitually picking up way too early. This past 2 Fridays, the lady that lives by that's been complaining, they pick up 5 o'clock in the morning. I think I talked to Commissioner Bennett. The police chief has talked to county waste. The lieutenant has talked to county waste. Apparently, they're not getting the picture. If they want to, I think if they want to do business in the city of Schenectady, they have to follow the rules. So the school district is hiring them. Maybe we should alert the school district to this also, but they're waking people up. Some people don't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I do. It may not bother me, but maybe someone else doesn't have to get up to 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. This isn't right, and this lady that's getting awakened on a regular basis, she's tried every avenue she can. She's called everyone, and she hasn't gotten relief. So I think we have to send a strong message from the city to say, this is illegal what you're doing. I believe the ordinance is 6:30. You know, that's okay, but 5 o'clock is not okay. So I would hope that we can get that done. The Moytson Street problems, they go on and on and on. Mr. Rodriguez, the one thing that he brings up, which if we do have an impending snowstorm, which is not going to happen, but we have to make sure that area is clear so emergency vehicles can get through, even though for whatever reason that's cordoned off. We have to make sure snow is cleared properly from there so people can safely be able to navigate, especially emergency vehicles. That's very important. And lastly, the St. Patrick's Day resolution, unless I miss something again, as I do sometimes, I sometimes snooze, but I believe that part that the speaker was talking about was removed, and the one that's adopted by the council had nothing to say about that whatsoever. So there's concerns from the council. That's why that was removed, and rightfully so. So with that, I just want to set the record straight again. That wasn't what we adopted tonight. We adopted one without that verbiage in there. Thank you.
Mr. Mudavaren.
Thank you. I just want to add to Moyson Street. I did have an opportunity to visit Moyson Street there, and I get a first-hand look at what's happening there. I brought it to the council and the mayor's attention, and hope that we can revisit it and lend some support to the resident there and able to work with them and help to fix it. Just a few more announcements. The Mount Pleasant Neighborhood Association, their annual meeting this Thursday, 7 p.m. at the Faith Deliverance Tabernacle Church at 1028 Ostrander Place. And the Bridge Church on Crane Street, 735 Crane Street, is having an all sports information and sign-up day. And I encourage everyone to utilize this. It's free. And you can contact Reverend James Bookout at the Bridge Christian Church at 864-5849 or Sharon Lynn Smith at 393-2116. The last announcement, the Hindu Society of Schenectady is having their annual spring celebration, Saturday, March 22nd from 12:30 to 4 p.m. The parade leaves at State and Swan Street at 12:30 for a cultural event in Grout Park at 1 p.m. I want to talk about the contractor program. I had an opportunity to visit the forest contractor home program today at 744 Hamilton Street, and I was applauded to see that the work being done by Simon Construction through Mr. Peter Delarada. I mean, it's amazing to see the amount of work, the efficiency, the quality of work that he put into the building. And I cannot stop and say, compliment them for the job well done. And we need to encourage it and get more of that on so that we can put these houses back on the tax roll. Thank you.
Thank you. Follow up to what Mr. Riggi was saying, I'm going to call on Mr. Polster.
Yes, very briefly, there was a draft concerning the resolution for the Hibernians that did include some language that was an early draft. It was in the packet last week when the council was reviewing certain things, but by the time it went through for final consideration this evening, all of that language had been deleted.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, we do have a few potholes, but the crews are working on that. It's being dispatched on a neighborhood-by-neighborhood basis. They work in a sector and go through, but anybody that has a pothole, call it in so that we become aware of it, can get it on the list so that we will fill it. I was on Moyston Street last Thursday. We're looking at that, and yes, we're trying to address that street surface. Again, we did have a tragic event there Christmas Eve, but again, the emergency apparatus was all able to get in that street and deal with the situation that developed there with the fire. On the public hearing with the Lucy's, again, that's part of a broad approach to some of these neighborhood stores. And the initial review, the first 10 that we're working with, those 10 stores generated 3,400 calls for service over the last 2 years, roughly 24 months. It's ridiculous. I want the police department to do policing. It's really they're functioning in the role of a babysitter, and we cannot have these businesses function in a manner that creates a negative environment in the neighborhoods. It draws on our services, and it's just an embarrassment. So the Lucy's is one component of the overall approach that we're dealing with these stores. We want them to be successful, we want them to be profitable, but they got to play by the rules. And that if they don't, we're going to tighten it up, and they just won't be in business. Madam President, I thank you and appreciate the council's work on that matter.
Thank you. And if there's no other business to come before the council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Kosher? Whoops. Okay.
Just a reminder, after the meeting here, we are going to have a reception downstairs. The public is certainly welcome. Some Villatelli pastries, which there's plenty of, so please come down, courtesy of myself and my family. So thank you for staying.
Okay, so would you like to move we adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Thank
seconded
you,
by
Madam
Mr. Mudavaren. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.
We got to just please dust the toothbrush.